Thank you for joining us today for another edition of Talk Evergreen. Talk Evergreen is broadcast live from the Evergreen Baptist Church at 408 West MacArthur Boulevard here in the city of Oakland, California. Talk Evergreen features interesting people, topics, and points of view. And now, Talk Evergreen and your host, Sister Tanya Sellers Daniels.
Good evening and welcome back to Talk Evergreen. My name is Tanya Sellers and I am the Evangelistic Growth Group Director here at Evergreen Missionary Baptist Church of Oakland, California. If you have not done so already, please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share this live broadcast. List your city and state in the chat. Let us know where you're watching from and feel free to ask questions because we are live. Also, be sure to follow us on Instagram, TikTok at Evergreen of Oakland. I'm excited to be here tonight with our live audience, and we have very special guests with us this evening. Ms. Deidre Atkins is a lifelong educator and proud product of Oakland schools, where she later served as a teacher, administrator, and principal for more than 5 decades. She led Glenview Elementary School as principal for 11 years, creating a strong community that valued both academics and visual and performing arts. Known for her belief that every child deserves options and outlets for their gifts, she brought music, drama, dance, and visual arts into classrooms at a time when funding and policies made it very difficult. Through Ms. Atkins' leadership and vision, the Oakland Fine Arts Summer School, OFASS, was strengthened and sustained, transforming it into a program that has thrived under her leadership for more than 20 years, serving hundreds of children each summer. Ms. Atkins believes in educating the whole child, giving students the opportunity to shine and discover hidden talents. Her vision and dedication continues to inspire educators, family, and children across Oakland. Deacon T. We call him Deacon T here at Evergreen, and his students call him Mr. Faji. He is a veteran English teacher with a decade of experience. He currently teaches 9th and 10th grade English at McClymonds High School in West Oakland, where he has dedicated the past 5 years of his career. Before joining McClymonds, Deacon T began his teaching journey at the Oakland Military Institute, where he was recognized by the school's founder, our former governor, California governor, and Oakland Mayor, Jerry Brown. He recognized him for improving middle school reading scores in his 2nd year. His educational background includes an AA in English from Berkeley City College, a bachelor's degree in English with a minor in communications from the University of California at Davis, and a master's in education with a focus on urban education and social justice from the University of San Francisco. He is currently pursuing his administrative credentials through La Jolla Marymount University, with expected completion in December of 2025. In addition to his work in the classroom, Deacon T is a self-published author. His book, The Art of Teaching, explores the craft of education through the lens of strategy and wisdom, and is available on Amazon. And Deacon T will tell us more about his fabulous book. So my 2 guests tonight are very special because We know here at Evergreen, education is certainly important, and we strive on making sure our children are fully educated. So we wanted to do a series on education, our young Black boys and girls. This is part 1, and we're also going to have part 2 next week. So I want to say welcome to my guests. Thank you so much for joining us here this evening, and we have a lot to talk about. Your bios are absolutely incredible, and it's wonderful to know that we have such educated people here at Evergreen that can teach our next generation, and that's what it's all about. So we're going to go right into our questions. Let's first discuss your jobs and your current careers and the progress you feel that you've made thus far. Sister Atkins, I'm going to ask you to start off.
Thank you for having me. So happy to be here. My progress so far, well, first of all, I've known since first and second grade that I wanted to go into education. Because,
wow. Okay, tell me a little bit more about that. How did you know?
Well, my teacher in first and second grade at Bella Vista Elementary School in Oakland was Mrs. Haley. And she was an excellent teacher. And I just loved the way she treated us, the way she put herself in everything that she did. She'd do things special for us, and her son used to come and help. So I said, I want to be like her.
Okay. That's interesting that you say that, because even at such a young age, that's proof that our educators can make such a big impact on a child. So please continue.
So when I left Oakland to go to school at UC Davis, yes, we went to the same.
Right.
Yes, I graduated from there also. After that, I went on to work in the teacher corps in correctional institutions, but I knew that I was coming back to Oakland.
Okay.
So when I came back to Oakland, I started teaching at the 150th for a while, and then I went into elementary school. That's where one of my teaching credentials is. And so I was a teacher. Then I left the classroom and became a teacher on special assignment, and then a principal in 1999 through 2010.
Tell me, a teacher on special assignment, what does that mean?
Yes, you're outside of the classroom. You do not have a regular classroom. And it depends on the school. At the particular time, the teachers on special assignment really, in essence, were like the assistant principals. That's no longer the case now. They have various roles. They may be, emphasis might be on curriculum or working with the community. They have different roles now than they did at that particular time. And then, like I said, I went on to be the principal at Glenview. But now, after I graduated, after I retired, I guess I didn't have.
How long have you been retired?
I've been retired since 2010.
Okay.
Since 2010. And then I guess I missed it, or they missed me, one of the two. The district would call me back to cover for principals that were out on leave. So I was right back in there again doing some of the same things that I had been doing. And then the arts. I loved the visual and performing arts. So I had that at my school. And it was not an option. I said, there will be arts at Glenview Elementary School. But after that, I continued in Oakland Fine Arts Summer School. So that's how I've been spending my summers, doing that. And we usually have around anywhere between 250 to 300 students for 4 weeks. And then we'd have a culminating program.
Yeah, and it is, it's a wonderful program. My niece, Amina, was a student for this summer, and I was just so impressed about the different, I call them electives, that they had to choose from. And she was so impressed because she just learned just so many new things. So good job on the summer program. I hope it continues because it was wonderful. Deacon T, let's talk about a little bit about your current job and your career.
Okay, well, I kind of talk about how I got into teaching as well.
Yes.
So, opposite of you, I didn't have a really good K through 12 education. I went to school in Berkeley, and I felt like lots of the times my teachers were prejudiced, and didn't give us a fair chance and didn't see the intellect in us. They just seen our outside appearance,
Let me stop you there. You said your teacher was prejudiced.
I had a few teachers who were prejudiced,
Okay.
yeah.
How did you know that at such a young age?
Okay, well, ninth grade, I had a girlfriend. She was very smart. I thought I was smart too. But my teacher, I guess she seen something different in me, and she told my girlfriend at the time, stay away from him. He's a bad character, And I wore gold teeth. I kind of looked a certain way, but I always read. I was always a good reader. Always, participated in class, tried to do the best I could. But they just didn't see that aspect. So, so after I graduated, I did construction first, and I really felt like I could do more to help my community than do construction. So I got back into school, and I felt like I could go back and be the teacher I'd never had. So that's kind of how I got into education, for one.
Wow. So what I'm hearing there are two different ways you wanted to become a teacher because of the teacher who made an impact on you at such a young age. You decided to become a teacher because you wanted to become the teacher that you never had. So you were judged by your outward appearance. Yes. Okay. Did that hinder you at all?
Well, when you're at such a young age, teachers are very influential. So if they see you a certain way, you begin to kind of slowly see yourself in that same light, until you kind of discover more so who you are. So yeah.
Okay. No, that totally makes sense. So can both of you talk about the progress that you have made thus far? Yeah, tell us about your progress. We know with your summer school, that's a humongous project that you have had. Will it be able to continue each year? Because we know, funding is low. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Well, I think that it will be able to continue. We had cutbacks this year, but you would not realize it, you wouldn't know it because, like they say, the show must go on. That show went on. So I'm very proud of that. But also, I see parents and teachers that not come back, but they may see me at a function or in the store, and they will say, "Oh, Miss Atkins, I'm so glad I had you. They don't make teachers like you anymore. You really cared. You showed us that you loved us, and you said you better do that. I know you can do it." And so we went on to do it. So I'm very proud of that. And parents let me know too that they appreciate. So I think that's progress. And I always try to let them see the best in themselves also, so that they will be proud of themselves. Like you say, there are a lot of good teachers, but all it takes is one teacher to, excuse the expression, mess up a child's head. And that is detrimental to the child. Yeah. So I still encourage the children. I encourage the parents. Some of the parents say, "I wish I had listened to you. You said such and such about my child, but I wouldn't listen. Maybe he wouldn't have had so many knocks, but yeah, he's come through it. He or she's come through it." So so I think my progress continues through the lives that I've affected over the years.
Okay, perfect. Deacon T, let's talk about your progress.
Yeah, well, my career, I really wanted to, when I became a teacher, I really wanted to give back to those schools that are more urban, those schools that people may look down upon or maybe scared to send their kids to. I work at McClimates, and sometimes I get these looks like, oh, McClimates, but that's where I wanted to be at, and I think I'm being successful there. A lot of students come in there, they look a little rough. But I try to teach all my students for one, but I really look for those diamonds in the rough, who kind of get overlooked by mainstream society and other teachers. So I think I've been successful in that. I've had some really bright students. We send a lot of students to UC Berkeley and Santa Cruz and UC schools. So yeah, I think I've been successful in that light.
Okay, great. So let me ask you both, what are your thoughts on education for our Black children? Because, we see the headlines, we read about test scores in the city of Oakland, in California, and we know for our young, I'm going to say Black kids, I'm not going to say brown or people of color, our Black kids, the test scores are really, really low. So tell me about your thoughts on education for our young boys and girls.
Can I answer that one first?
Sure.
Okay, so yeah, I see the test scores are low. Like we just did our reading test, and a lot of students are reading below grade level. And I think part of the problem is some of these teachers look at our students with bias, right? So they don't give them grade level materials. I think our students really need to be challenged with rigor, and grade level material so they can reach that, and they can reach that with the right scaffolds and the right support.
Okay, all right. Sister Atkins, what do you think about that?
First, I think the children have to be encouraged and made to feel good about themselves. And of course, bring the parents into this, because the home and the school have to work together. Yeah. And the parents are the first teachers, so they make an impression on their child, and then the school makes an impression on the child. But the children, they have to have that love. And today, there's so many children in a classroom. That doesn't help. Some of the supports that they used to have, they no longer have.
About how many children do they have in the classroom now?
Well, in elementary, it depends. It can be anywhere from 20 or 24 for the younger grades. I guess K through third, and then it can go up to 31 for the upper grades.
Deacon T, how many kids do you have in your class?
So McClimates is blessed to be a small school. If anybody thinking about sending their kids to Mac, it is a small school. But right now we have we're a bit over enrolled. So my biggest class is maybe 33, which is way more than usual. But usually it's anywhere between 15 and 25 students.
And do you have a teacher's assistant or helper or?
Yeah, but not for every period. So I teach 3 periods a day. Mm-hmm. I may have I have an aide for like 1 period a day.
Okay, all right. Sister Atkins, you brought up about the parents, and that was going to be my next question. So can you all elaborate on, are the parents helping their children? Are they playing a role in their children's education? What are you seeing? Be candid, it's all right.
Yes. They are playing a role. Sometimes it's negative, sometimes it's a positive. But those that are playing a negative role, I don't feel that it's intentional. There are a lot of obstacles, and as educators, we do need to be sensitive to that.
When you say negative role, give me an example of that.
Well, they don't come to parent conferences. They don't come to back to school. If they receive a phone call, and this is not all by any means. I'm just pointing out a few of the negative things, because a lot of times as educators, we look down on these parents when we shouldn't. We should be saying, well, what can I do to support them so they can support their child? And I know we have limited resources and this and that. But that's why now they do have some community workers. They don't call them that. I don't know what the name is now, but that do outreach to the parents.
And sometimes we don't know the parents' circumstance.
That's right. That's
we
right.
have a lot of children that are coming from one-parent homes where the mother or the father are not just working one job.
That's right. 2 and 3 jobs.
Yeah, 2 and 3 jobs. So they just don't have the time. Deacon T, what are you seeing in terms of the parents being involved?
I kind of want to speak about what she said about the negative role and positive roles. We could definitely see if a student's parents are really involved and really pushing them. I see it instantly, right? Because there are some students who go above and beyond to reach to be their best, right? Then you see other students who you wonder why they behave this way or why they do this. And I believe it all starts at home, So with your kids, you're gonna reap what you sow, I have certain students. I don't want to get too candid, but I have certain students who say they smoke weed with their parents, and and if you sow that into your kid, it's going to show in their education.
What about homework? I know that's a hot topic. Do you all see the parents assisting their children with their homework? I know when my niece, who is in the third or fourth grade, when she asked me to go over her homework with her, I'm like, especially with the math, I'm like, well, we didn't do this kind of math, so I'm not quite sure how to help you with it. But what do you say to those parents that can't really help their children with the homework because they honestly don't know?
Well, I say if I was still there, I would say come in and we'll try to help you work you through it.
Good point.
And also, a lot of the schools have parent ed nights, and they have a focus. It might be on language arts, or it might be on math, or it might be on science. And they call them in and they do activities with them. Sometimes it might be broken up where they do part of it with the parents while the children are doing something else someplace else, and or they might bring them together and then they do an activity together. So that's parent involvement right there. And those parents who don't feel as capable really do appreciate that.
Okay. All right. Deacon T, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I get certain parents who do help their students with homework. I teach high school, so it's a little bit different. I think the best only thing I expect from a parent is to really just hold the space for them to be able to do their work and just encourage and motivate your student. And I think that makes all the difference.
Now, what about those parents, especially with you, Deacon T, since you are a current teacher? What about those parents that will do the homework for them? Can you tell that they haven't done it and that their parents are just really, they probably have good intentions, but they're doing the homework? Can you tell?
Yeah, well, today we don't really. It's not the parents doing the homework. It's something called AI that's doing the homework for them.
That's right.
And I could tell instantly if they're using AI. So yeah, for sure.
Okay, what is that? GPT chat.
Chat GPT. Yeah.
Yes. Wow.
Artificial intelligence.
Yes. So you can tell by the language that.
But even before there was AI, Chat GPT, you could tell. If a parent does that homework for that child and that child gets back in the classroom and has an assignment that's related to that homework, I mean, they know. And like when I first went into the classroom in Oakland, my principal, I guess she felt sorry for me because I'd be taking these big bags of homework home for my homework to correct. And she said, "Deidre, you don't have to take all of that home. You can tell right away. You can give them credit for every page they did, every sheet, but you can look at one or two things and tell if they understand the concept or not." So I said, "Ooh, I'm glad she told me that." But that also allowed students that didn't do well in class to get, at that time it was an E, which was equivalent to an A, because I would tell them, sometimes they would say, "Well, I didn't understand that, and I didn't have anybody to help me," or something to that effect. And I said, you have your mother write a note that you tried, but you need some assistance at school with that concept, and you will get 100% credit. So, because you're showing that you're responsible. Right. So you can get an E in homework, regardless of what you get in your other grades.
Okay, excuse me. We're going to have to go ahead and take a quick intermission while Brother Donald Taylor comes and blesses us in song. But don't go anywhere, because when we come right back, we'll be continuing our conversation right here on Talk Evergreen. In the meantime, we will participate in our giving. Those of us in the sanctuary will be giving, and you online can give as well. They have different ways you can give right on the screen. And remember, on Wednesdays, all our giving goes towards our missions, where we help supply the needs of our youth that we have adopted in Ghana. So don't forget to give, and we'll be right back after the song selection.
I lift my hands in total adoration unto you. You reign on the throne, for you are God, God alone. Because of you, my cloudy days are gone. I can sing to you this song. I just want to say that I love you more than anything. I lift my hands in total adoration unto you. You reign on the throne, for you are God and God alone. Because of you, my cloudy days are gone. I can sing to you this song. I just want to say that I love you more than anything. Jesus, I worship and adore you. Just want to tell you, Lord, I love you more than anything. I love you, Jesus. Worship and adore you. Just want to tell you, Lord, I love you more than anything. Oh, how I love Jesus. Oh, how I love Jesus. Oh, how I love Jesus, because he first loved me. I love you, Jesus. need thee.
Welcome back to Talk Evergreen. As you can tell, our educational series does deserve a part 2. We have a lot of great topics that we need to ask these educators about. So our next question, and this is for both of you, what are your thoughts on the church taking a role through children's church, Sunday school, or Vacation Bible School to help our children listen, read, and write outside of the traditional school environment? What are your thoughts?
That's a good place for them to get assistance. And it's in a non-threatening environment. It would be small groups. They could have one-on-one or 1 or 2 to 1 adult. That would be an excellent place for them to get educational support. It would just need to be organized. Someone would have to oversee it so it would have a direction. Everyone would know what the
Right.
focus is
Right.
and what the direction and what the anticipated outcome.
Mm-hmm.
And if the parents had the desire, maybe someone in one of those groups could come to a parent-teacher conference, and they might be an
That's a good idea.
advocate for the parents and the child, and they could share a different side of the child that the teacher might not see, that would give him or her some insight in how to help the child.
That's a great idea. Deacon T, what are your thoughts on that? Non-traditional ways to help the children learn to read and to write, and more importantly, to listen.
Yeah, I think it's really important. First of all, I just think just being in the Bible and knowing God is, knowledge of God is like the beginning of all knowledge. Fear of the Lord is the beginning of all knowledge. So, at school, like I'm really big onto the, I teach literature, so I focus on that. But there's a lot of other things that our students need to learn, like respectability, how to carry themselves, right? How to be a man or how to be a good woman. So I think, Bible, Sunday school and all that can help with that. But also, I just did a presentation just yesterday with my students, my 10th graders, and one student, he was so shy, but then when he got up in the front of the class, he presented like he wasn't scared at all. So I told his mom that. She was like, yeah, he talks at church, right? So you see the difference when students, they speak at church and they may do the announcements, etc. It really makes a big difference, and it helps with their academics as well.
Now, Sister Atkins, Deacon T, I'm not sure about you, but Sister Atkins, I know you remember BTU. Oh, yeah. And the Bible drills and finding the books of the Bible. So we all had to do that. And now I think about what an impact that it made on us growing up, because it just taught so many things that we didn't even realize that it would help us in school. So we talked about Vacation Bible School. What are your thoughts on Vacation Bible School?
Well, once again, in Bible school, Vacation Bible School, they're reading. Yeah. They're doing art. They're sharing. They're doing public speaking. So that goes to what you were saying, Deacon T. It carries over into the public school or private school system, whichever the child is in. It definitely carries over. And then it helps also. Some of them are in the Martin Luther King Oratorical Fest at school, and you can see it. Sometimes the parents don't even realize their child has it in them until they get up there. But they've had the foundation at church.
Yep, that foundation. Deacon T, what are your thoughts? Vacation Bible School.
I think it also, it feeds the academic side for sure, but it also feeds the spiritual side, right? I mean, in this world, we got TV, we can stream anytime of the day, these cell phones, right? Video games, everything to feed your flesh. But we also need to feed our spirit because, we gonna reap what we sow.
No, absolutely. Absolutely correct. Deacon T, I was just so amazed to find out that you are also an author. Now, what made you decide to write a book? And I want you to please hold your book up so people can see it, because you can order it right on Amazon. Let's talk a little bit about your book. When did you write it, and what is your book about?
So when I first started teaching, I read a book, about teaching, and one thing that he said is, when you teach, you should always try to write as well, like keep a journal. So in the past few years, I've been just keeping a journal about my experiences, about my growth, etc. And I usually didn't have time to really compile it into a book. But this summer, for like the first time in 5 years, I didn't teach summer school. So I took that downtime to really put everything together into my book. So what it's about is actually it's a.
What is the name?
Okay, it's called.
We need to know the name so we can order your book.
Okay, it's called The Art of Teaching: Applying the Strategic Wisdom of Sun Tzu to Modern Teaching. So it's an ancient Chinese author called Sun Tzu who wrote The Art of War.
Yeah, very good book.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's a great book. People use it in business, right? In politics. So I read it through the lens of an educator. Right, so I kind of compared commanding an army to leading a classroom, and they seem, you'll say like that sounds strange, but there are some similarities, especially with classroom management and taking care of your students, that really translates well.
Mm-hmm. So, what are how do your students feel when they find out that you have actually written a book?
They love it. A lot of students take pictures of like, oh, he's an author. A lot of them want to buy the book,
Yeah, I'm sure.
I'm like, this is for, yeah.
And get your autograph, of course.
They want their signed copy. And is it a easy read for students, or is it more so for adults?
Well, they could definitely read it, and just to see, see my writing and how I put everything together. But it's for teachers specifically. It's really a niche audience for teachers, but they could definitely read it. It's an easy read. It's not a lot of I'm not using a lot of fancy words. It's really about my experiences and how and kind of like my teaching experience, really.
Okay, and they can order your book on Amazon. Give us the name again, please. Don't be shy. Come on now.
It's called The Art of Teaching.
And give us your whole name, your full name, because I will butcher it, but go ahead.
Okay. The Art of Teaching: Applying the Strategic Wisdom of Sun Tzu to Modern Teaching, by me, Adetokunbo Fajimi Rokun. But I'm gonna get a whole bunch of author copies. I get them for cheap, and I'm gonna give them to people for free, so you can leave me reviews on Amazon.
Okay.
So that's how I want to.
Wonderful. And Sister Atkins, you have such a wealth of information and knowledge and experience. Has that ever come across your mind to put it on paper and to write a book as well?
Yes, but I haven't done it. The closest I have come, I'm really into family history, genealogy, and so I do research on that with my family. And if I hear of anybody else that's gone to a family reunion or done something with their family, I say, "Oh, you ought to jot that down." So I do have a booklet. It's for the family, but it's about 19 pages, I guess, and it has both sides, my maternal and paternal sides. On the cover are my grandparents, my great-grandparents, and then within that, I have all the siblings, the aunts, the uncles, and it just goes down the line. And I'm just doing writing on the individual persons, and I will compile that later.
Well, I think that we need a book out of you, and you can also use AI for your book, and it won't be so hard.
No, but you have to know what to give AI to use, and then you have to proof AI. Do not count on AI to be all-knowing, because AI thinks it is, but it's not. So you have to check for accuracy.
Yeah, and that's how you get caught when you don't do that.
Right.
Well, everyone, we are not out of message. We're just out of time. Be sure to follow us on all social media platforms at Evergreen of Oakland. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and please share this broadcast. Remember to join us every Sunday for our 8 a.m. Express Worship Service, which is only 59 minutes, followed by our 9:30 a.m. Sunday School class and our 11 a.m. Worship Service. Thank you all for watching, and have a blessed night, and we'll see you next week here on Talk Evergreen. Good night.